So you want to know why my nickname is the Hungry Hypebeast? Bam! Never leave home without it. Hi, I'm Jimmy Lee. I'm the chef and owner at Madame Vo. I'm originally born and raised in New York, and today I'm gonna show you guys how to make pho. Everybody's pho is different. When we opened our restaurant, we took the best of both sides from my mom and from my wife's mom. I found a way where we can capture the best of both worlds. So these are the beef bones with bone marrow. We're gonna boil these bones just to clean them for 15 minutes to get all the gunk, all the dirt out. We have to clean them because we don't want the soup to be cloudy. The key to good pho is the clarity of the broth. We're gonna start charring ginger, shallots, and onion. We're gonna cut the onions in half. You can char them with the skin on. Ginger with the skin and shallots with the skin as well. So we're gonna char the onions first. You're just trying to get that smoky flavor from the onion. It's just the secret that my mom taught me. I always saw her doing this. I never understood why. And then she told me that this makes the broth amazing. Once the skin starts coming off, you can just throw these pieces away. For the ginger, you want it to see it evenly darken, evenly cooked all around. So it would be a lot easier for us to start skinning it because to skin ginger is very difficult. The end game and the results of the broth, I mean, it'll pay off. Okay, now I'm gonna start charring the shallots. You don't want the fire to be too high. For ginger, it's okay because ginger is really thick, but for the shallots, you do not want to overburn them. That smells amazing. I love shallots. I cook the way I eat, so everything I make is very bold in flavors, bold in taste. I don't skimp on any of the ingredients. Pho, as you can see, is very labor intensive, but it's always that stereotype like Southeast Asian food has to be cheap and like, why is this place so expensive? Why are they charging an arm and a leg for pho? And I'm just like, well, we're trying to give you a great product. We're not just trying to make pho just to sell it. We're trying to include high quality ingredients, high quality cuts of meat, and you know, we really hope that people understand that. And to break through that barrier right now, it was a hard struggle. It took us 2 years with our restaurant. Our pho is good in its own right, and I felt that we can push it. The bones are boiled. We're gonna empty all this water into the sink, and then we're gonna start cleaning the bones by hand before we start our new pot. It's when the real magic happens. Pho, depending on who makes it, it's made with love. Right now we're going to just basically wash the bones thoroughly, just get all the gunk and the scum out. You want all that marrow and all that juiciness into the broth. All right, so now that we've already cleaned our bones, make sure to refill the pot again with new water and make sure you bring it up to a boil. We're gonna put our bones back in. A trick my mom always taught me was to make sure that it's on low simmer. Growing up, mom is God, right? I mean, till this day, my mom is the boss, you know? So whatever she says goes. So she told me this is how she makes it. I don't ask any questions. That's how we do it. So we're gonna start with the ginger. I'm just gonna cut them off so it could be easier for us to start skinning them. You wanna make sure you remove all the burnt pieces because that's gonna cloud the broth. What we're doing at Madame Vo is just nothing fancy. It's just home style cooking. Every piece on our menu is just everything me and my wife grew up eating and we loved, our favorite dishes. Both moms trying the pho for the first time. When my mom tasted it, she was like, oh, this tastes familiar. I was just like, yeah, mom, it's your recipe. She was like, you nailed it. Her mom wasn't really impressed. Her mom was like, The shallots, I'm gonna have to remove the skin. As the bones are boiling right now, we will throw everything in. I say the longer you cook it, the better the broth is gonna be. That's why we simmer it for 24 hours at our restaurant. At home, 8 hours would do the trick on a low simmer. All right, the next step is the fun part, is toasting all the spices. So we have cinnamon and star anise. And hiding here in the bottom is cloves. We have coriander seeds, fennel seed, adds a little licorice flavor to the broth. And then we have cardamom pods. Okay, once we're done, I'm just gonna empty everything out into the cheesecloth. Just gonna tie everything up. Right here we have chuck short rib, we have brisket, and we have beef round eye. We're gonna cook our brisket in. So this is a chuck short rib. And we're gonna throw that in. I like to eat my brisket very tender, my short rib very tender. So the goal for that is to cook it a little longer. And the last step is the spices. So after taking a nap, 8 hours later, this is the end result. So right now we got the brisket. It's nice and soft. Test it. It's very tender. I'm gonna throw it in the ice bucket. You wanna cool it down so you can actually cut it later. The trick is we put a little salt into the water, let it sit there a little bit because you don't want the meat to start browning and start turning really dark. So now you're gonna let the meat here sit for a good 5 minutes. All right, so we got the brisket. I like to slice them a little thin, but you can see it's so tender. Now the short rib, we have enough for 3 bowls here. It's gonna go down in the middle. It's so tender. That's what I love about short rib. Short rib goes well with everything. Who doesn't love short rib? And when you come to our restaurant and you're thinking like, oh, a little cute short rib, no, we're gonna hit you with a big, gigantic one. So this is the beef eye round. It's better to cut them really thin. You want the broth to cook them, so you don't want them to be too thick. Our soup is nearly done. We're gonna add our sugar. You don't wanna add too much salt. So, and most important about pho broth is fish sauce. All right, now we're gonna start with the garnishes, cilantro, the scallions. Now for the lime, we're gonna cut them into wedges, onion. So we're gonna cook the noodles now. This is a trick that we do. So with the rice noodles, usually when you cook them and you take them out and you leave them out for a while, they all stick together. So we add a little vegetable oil into the water. The noodles don't stick together. So you're always gonna have that fine consistency. All right, gonna make sure the water's boiled. Noodles, now you're gonna garnish your bowl, all the meats, brisket, eye round, onions, garnishes. This is where the magic happens. You want to reach from the bottom, because if you do it from the top, you're just gonna get all fat. Look at that, smells amazing. What? It never gets old. And then at the end, I scoop a little bit of the fat on top and I add that onto it. And it gives it that richness. Not too much, not too little, just right. Thai basil and bean sprouts on top. Take this giant short rib, you can add it on the side like that. All right, let's eat. Let's get this bone out here. That's what I'm talking about. You can eat this all day. I mean, we make it with love here, come on. This is just amazing. You know what? It never gets old.